Have you ever walked into a home, looked down at the floor, and wondered, is that a carpet or is it a rug? A lot of people use those two words interchangeably, and honestly, it makes sense. Both are floor coverings, both can be made of fabric, and both add warmth and style to a room. But here's the catch. A rug and a carpet are not the same thing. Today, we're going to dive into the world of flooring and break down the real differences between a carpet and a rug. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never confuse the two again. So stick around, because we're about to pull the thread on what really separates carpets from rugs, right here on History of Simple Things. Most of us probably grew up hearing our parents or relatives say, "Don't step on the carpet with dirty shoes," even if what they had was technically a rug. This confusion happens everywhere. In some parts of the world, like in the United States, carpet is the word people often use, while in places like Asia or the Middle East, rug might be the go-to. But the difference isn't just about language, it's about how they're made, how they're used, and what they mean inside a home. The first big difference is size. A carpet usually refers to something wall to wall. It stretches across an entire room, covering the floor permanently or semi-permanently. Think of a bedroom, where the floor feels soft under your feet no matter where you step. That's carpet. A rug, on the other hand, is smaller and movable. It doesn't take up the whole floor, just a portion of it. You can roll it up, take it to another room, or even hang it on the wall for decoration. Rugs are more like accents, designed to highlight a certain area, like under a coffee table or by the entryway. This difference alone clears up most of the confusion. If it's big enough to cover the entire room, it's carpet. If it's a piece you can pick up and move, it's a rug. Carpets and rugs also differ in how they're installed. A carpet is usually fixed in place. Professional installers measure the room, cut the carpet to fit, and stretch it so it lies perfectly flat. In many cases, padding is placed underneath to make it softer and longer lasting. Once it's in, you don't just roll it up and move it. You'd need tools and effort to remove it. Rugs? Totally different story. A rug is ready to use. No installation required. You buy it, lay it on the floor, and that's it. If you don't like the spot, you can drag it somewhere else or take it outside to clean. This portability is one of the biggest reasons rugs are loved by renters or people who like to change up their interior style often. Here's where things get more interesting. Carpets are primarily about comfort, insulation, and noise reduction. Since they cover the whole room, they keep spaces warmer in colder climates, make walking around barefoot comfortable, and absorb sound so you don't hear every footstep echoing around. They turn a house into a cozy home. Rugs, meanwhile, are more about style and versatility. Yes, they can also add comfort and warmth, but their biggest strength is how they tie a room together visually. Rugs are like art pieces for the floor. They can introduce bold patterns, colors, or textures without committing to a permanent change. One of the coolest differences that people overlook is cultural background. Rugs have a long and rich history. Think Persian rugs, Turkish kilims, or Navajo weavings. These rugs weren't just practical, they were and still are works of art, passed down through generations, each telling stories about the people who made them. Rugs often hold cultural meaning with specific patterns or colors representing beliefs, traditions, or even status in society. Carpets, on the other hand, rose in popularity much later, especially during the industrial era when machines could mass-produce them. Carpets became symbols of modern living, covering entire floors in offices, hotels, and homes. While rugs are deeply personal and artistic, Carpets are more about large-scale comfort and convenience. Carpets, because they're permanent and cover the whole room, are harder to clean. If you spill coffee on a carpet, you can't just toss it in the washing machine. You'll need spot cleaners, steam cleaning, or even professional help depending on the damage. Dust, pet hair, and allergens can also get trapped deep within carpet fibers. Rugs are much easier. Depending on the material, you can shake them outside, vacuum them, or even throw some smaller ones in the washing machine. And if one gets ruined beyond repair, you can replace it without having to redo an entire room. That flexibility makes rugs more practical for busy households or people with kids and pets. Here's a factor that surprises people. Carpet can be more affordable per square foot than a high-quality rug. Since carpets are often machine-made and bought in bulk, you can get an entire room carpeted for a lower price than buying a hand-woven rug. However, because carpets cover such a large area, the total cost, including installation, can add up. Rugs, especially handmade or antique ones, can get very expensive. A single Persian rug might cost thousands of dollars because it's crafted by artisans, often taking months or even years to complete. So while carpets feel like the bigger investment, rugs can sometimes carry a higher value, especially if they're collectible. Carpets are designed to last, but they do wear down in high-traffic areas. You might notice flattened fibers where people walk the most, or discoloration from sunlight. Replacing a carpet means a big project, removing furniture, ripping out the old one, and installing a new one. Rugs are more flexible in this regard. If one wears out, you can just swap it for another. Some handmade rugs, when cared for properly, can last decades or even centuries. They age gracefully, often becoming more beautiful over time. Carpets rarely have that kind of longevity or charm. Think about the freedom rugs give you compared to carpets. Once you choose a carpet, you're locked into that look for years. Sure, you can change the wall color or add furniture, but the carpet remains the same. Rugs, however, let you experiment. Want a bohemian vibe? Throw down a patterned rug. Prefer a minimalist look? Switch to a neutral one. You can even layer rugs on top of carpets to add texture and personality. That flexibility makes rugs the go-to for people who love refreshing their home decor without major renovations. So the next time you walk into a home, take a look at the floor. If it covers the whole room and feels like part of the house itself, it's carpet. If it's a piece you could roll up and take with you, it's a rug. The differences might seem subtle at first, but once you know them, you start to see how unique each one really is. Rugs and carpets both have their place in our lives. They just serve different purposes. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.